What did Cage teach you to call me?
An ugly motherfucker.
I will eat him alive.
Hello guys, and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Lizard Baraka. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Lizard Baraka to the test. Lizard Baraka guys was released on the 24th of May 2022, and ever since then he wasn't available for souls anywhere. The only way you could get him is if you pay for certain packs, if you are extremely lucky and he drops as a renowned reward in quest mode, or if you're extremely lucky and he drops from towers. Basically those are the only ways that you can obtain this character. So let's check whether he's worth. His attack is 45,360, which is the 29th highest in the game and the 6th highest among the gold cards. The hit points, they are 96,000 sharp, the 18th highest in the game and the 3rd highest among all gold characters. The toughness is 39,690, which is the 28th highest in Mortal Kombat Mobile and the 7th highest in the Gold League. The recovery is 36,855, the 36th highest in the game and the 14th highest among all gold cards, and the power generation is only 100%. So for his stats, Lizard Baraka is going to get the underwhelming 17.7 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Lizard Baraka guys is called Blade Spark, and there isn't anything special about it. Basically it looks exactly like special one of Scourge Baraka. What you need to know about its ability is that, for one thing, it can be completely blocked by the enemy. However, since it has power drain as debuff, it will power drain some power anyhow. In addition, this special attack can be cast from distance. It is little, it consists of 2 mini hits, and it has a single tap rectangle as mini game. And one last thing, unfortunately, Special one of Lizard Baraka doesn't really cooperate well with his combo enders, so you have to avoid using Special one after combo enders of Lizard Baraka. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 24,885, which ranks the 13th highest in the game and the actually the highest among all gold characters. The maximum damage is 39,817, the 38th highest in MK Mobile and the 10th highest in the Gold League. Once again, Special one of Baraka can be blocked by the enemy, it has power drain as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 2 mini hits and it has a single tap rectangle as mini game. So for his Special one, Lizard Baraka is going to get the healthy 10.5 out of 13 possible points. Alright, it is time to talk about Baraka Special 2, which is called Take a Bite. I'm not going to lie, it is one of the most devastating special attacks I've ever seen in MK Mobile, especially when it comes to gold characters. So, in a nutshell, this is what you need to know about this ability. First thing first, it is completely 100% unblockable. It has speed as buff, which is incredibly useful for Baraka. Unfortunately, since it is a grapple, it cannot be cast from distance. You have to be next to the enemy, very close in order for it to connect, and it has one of the easiest mini games in MK Mobile, the multi-tap circle. And one last thing, as usual, I'm just going to talk about how Special 2 connects after the combo enders of Baraka. You know, he has 2 combo enders. In the first one, he basically slices the enemies from the top to the bottom. The second one, he slices the enemies from the bottom to the top. And when it comes to the next combo ender, the ability will usually connect after it. However, you have to be really careful with the first combo ender, because in a lot of situations, you just grab air and nothing will happen. You're going to waste 2 bars of power, and that is a problem. So once again, be really careful if you want to do Special 2 of Baraka after his first combo ender, the one when he basically slices the enemy from the top to the bottom. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of Special 2 of Baraka is 49,771, which is the 45th highest in the game and the 12th highest in the Gold League. The maximum damage is 89,588, the 53rd highest in the MKM and the 15th highest among all gold cards. Once again, this ability cannot be blocked in any way, shape or form. It has speed as buff. It cannot be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits, and it has the multi-tap circle as mini game. So for his special 2, Lizard Baraka is going to get 13 out of 19 possible points. Alright, so when they actually teased Lizard Baraka, they showed us the MK11 Fatal Blow, and we were all excited. But unfortunately he was released with an MKX X-Ray, which is called Nail and Impale. What you need to know about it, it can be cast from distance, and to be honest it looks quite awesome when you do that. It has Team Bleed as the buff, and basically that's it. When it comes to the damage, it is 123,433, which is the 44th highest in the game and the 7th highest among the gold cards. Once again, the X-Ray Baraka has Bleed as the buff, and it can be cast from distance. So for his third special ability, he's going to get 3.5 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets with his special attacks adds up to 27 out of 36 possible. Alright, the truth is, I could have given here more points, but let's be honest, on their own, the basic attacks of Lizard Baraka are not really that great. For one thing, he doesn't really push opponents away if they're blocking, he has slow initiation speed, slow recovery speed, above average punching speed, and the biggest drawback of his basic attacks, in my opinion, is the fact that they don't really talk, let's call it that way. They don't talk to his special attacks. What I mean by that is that if you want to do combo ender, then you want to do special 1 or special 2, the ability will either completely miss or will be blocked in, let's say, 70 or 80% of the cases, which is not really incredible. Of course, if we take into consideration his passive, then the picture changes completely, but that will come later in the next part of the video. For now, I'll be giving him just 6.5 out of 10 possible points for his basic attacks. And before we go to the passive section of the video, I feel obliged to share with you a few tips on how to use Baraka when he has speed, and probably in 90% of the cases he will have speed, so that's really useful information regarding his basic attacks. Basically, there are two ways to use his basic attacks once he has the speed buff. The first way is to use his combo enders, the second way is not to use the combo enders and to cancel them. So if you decide to use your combo enders, please be advised that you must start punching your enemy once they are on their feet, not while they're standing up, not when they're on the ground. Reason being, if you start punching them early, they can interrupt your combo, and that's really unfortunate. If you start punching them immediately after they are on their feet, then it will be fine. If you decide to choose the second way, to cancel your combo enders, that's the safer way, and if this is the case, you have to make sure that your enemies don't have power, because if they do, they can still interrupt your basic attacks by simply doing special 1 or special 2. And of course, this also applies on any situation, on any character. If you want to make sure you are putting your enemies into endless loop of punching, power draining, whatever, you have to make sure they don't have power, because if they do, they can still do special attack in between your basic attacks combo. Alright guys, it is time to talk about the passive of Lizard Baraka. It is called Anger Management, and here it is what it does. I quote, "Lizard Baraka doesn't react to opponent's basic combo attacks for 15 seconds after tag in. In a fight, he passively generates power over time and receives 2% damage boost each time he hits the opponent with additional 1% damage boost if the hit was critical. On tag out, Lizard Baraka loses damage boost and gains regeneration for 10 seconds. Active opponent's healing is reduced by 25% for each Lizard character in a team. Outward teammates have 25% critical hit chance boost." Now, where do we begin? So, it seems fair to me that it would be good to start with the combo reaction or the lack of reaction. In other words, you can intercept the enemy combo. They start punching you, you don't react to that punching, you start your combo, you intercept them, and from there on, they're dead. Basically, this is the best way I can describe it. What you need to know about it further is that, for one thing, you still take damage, and you have to keep in mind that Baraka still reacts to the combo enders. So the regular punches, that's fine, but if the enemy goes to his or her combo ender, then Baraka will react to it, and that's unfortunate. Another thing that you have to keep in mind, unfortunately, if Baraka is the opener of your team, this part of his passive won't trigger, so you have to make sure that he is not your starter. If I have to rank this particular part of his passive, it is really cool. Basically, that means that in Faction Wars you don't require Block Breaker. If this thing expires, if by any chance the enemy team isn't dead yet, you can just tag him out and then tag him back in, and that will be perfectly fine. Once again, you simply don't require Block Breaker, and that's wonderful. Alright guys, let's talk about the second part of Baraka's passive. In a fight, he passively generates power over time and receives 2% damage boost each time he hits the opponent, with additional 1% damage boost if the hit was critical. First thing first, Baraka still increases his damage even if the enemy is blocking, and that's incredible. And the second thing, Baraka can actually generate power even if he is not actively fighting. That's really good. I tested it, by the way. For about 10 seconds Baraka gets to special 1, for about 20 seconds he gets to special 2, and from there on the power generation effect gets slower and slower, so it takes him on average 1 minute to get to an X-ray if you never put him in a fight actively. So 1 minute to get an X-ray. This is still much faster than any other character in the game can do that, and that's of course without any power generation effects. It's just the effect of his passively generating power. Now, there is another thing that I want to talk about, the stacking of damage and the power generation. Basically, if you want to know what is the limit of this stacking of damage, it is 999 stacks. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And another thing that's really interesting is Baraka is, quite frankly, the only character in the game that takes between 0.6 0.7 bars of power to do special 2. What I mean by that is, you start doing special 2, and since the animation is kind of slow, Baraka's passive is still active during this animation. So basically means that while you're doing special 2, and if you have an item that reduces the cost of special 2 by 50%, Baraka will generate between 1.3 to 1.4 bars of power while you're doing your special 2, which basically means that it will cost roughly half bar of power. Special 2 for half bar of power. How cool is that? And one last thing about his power stacking, it is important to remember that if he gets saved by Warlock Quan Chi, and if he has items that resurrect, such as for instance the Frost Orb or the Living Dead, he won't be losing his stack, so that's really important. And speaking of tagging out, one of you will probably say, yeah, he can regenerate health when he tags out, but that's bad because he loses his stacks of damage. If you ask me, if you have Baraka at maximum fusion, this is going to be absolutely irrelevant because he wrecks people with his special 2 anyways. All you need to do is special 2 without any stacks, once again, without any stacks, and this will guarantee that you're going to be wrecking maxed out diamonds. And this is with regular Faction Wars equipment. Baraka is a total beast, so the fact that he loses his damage if he tags out, it's not really a big deal in Faction Wars. It might be a big deal though if you're using him as a fighter, he's low fusion, and you are trying to beat difficult tower stages. Then it's going to be a problem for you. But in Faction Wars, this is never a problem, guys. Trust me, this guy is a total beast in Faction Wars. I tried him for so many battles. Usually a fight with Lizard Baraka takes between 15 and 20 seconds, and the reason why it takes so long is because his special 2 takes some physical time to execute. So the tagging out thing is really useful in Faction Wars. You shouldn't care that you lose your damage boost. You should care only if he's low fusion, you're fighting in towers, or let's say you're fighting boss fights. Then you should care, and if you have Warlock Quan Chi, once again, this fixes the problem. And now we have to talk about the regeneration reduction. That's incredible, right? This character can do so many things. The unfortunate thing with this part of his passive is that actually Baraka should be fighting actively. You cannot just have him in your team and expect that he's going to reduce the regeneration. The good news though is that this effect actually reduces the effect of the regeneration modifier in tower. So if let's say the enemy character is actually regenerating 100 health per second, if you attack Baraka and Baraka starts fighting him, he'll start regenerating 75% damage health, and that's pretty cool, right? Imagine when the entire Lizard team assembles. The regeneration effect will barely be noticeable. And we're going to end the review of his passive with the outward teammates have 25% critical hit chance boost. Of course, this also applies to Baraka, and that's really awesome because the more critical hits you get, basically the more damage boost you get. But in the general case, once again, this damage boost, if this guy's maxed out, is totally irrelevant. So let's summarize what we said. Thanks to this passive, Baraka is the most busted card ever released in the Gold League. He can literally end fights in 10 to 15 seconds. The reason why he cannot end them for less is because it takes some physical time for his special to be executed. In a regular team with regular Faction Wars gear, he absolutely destroys maxed out Diamond team using one special 2 for any team. Basically, you don't have to do anything else. Special 2, then the other guy tags in, you hit him twice, then another special 2, and you repeat. And if they try to hit you, they won't be able to because you have 15 seconds of this not reaction to basic attacks, and this is all you require. This character is absolutely busted. Not to mention that if you are playing him correctly, at Fusion 0 he can get, let's say, 400, 500 stacks, which basically means that he will fight in towers even if the enemies are much stronger than him, and he won't have problems with it. Of course, if he's facing Assassin Jade characters that can evade his special attacks, he's going to have problem, and he cannot do that at a low fusion. But the general case is that this is probably the best fighter in the game at Fusion 0 if you play him properly, and if the enemy is not an enemy that completely counters him at Fusion 0, such as, once again, Assassin Jade. So once again, this passive is totally busted, this character is totally busted, so giving it 21 out of my 20 points. He's just an outward character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay, as usual, this is the time of the video when we decide whether Lizard Baraka is a good character. So let's take a look at the bigger picture. He has kind of okay stats for a gold character, really good special attacks, very nice basic attacks that turn to amazing once his speed kicks in. Also, his passive is absolutely busted, one of the best passives in the game. A passive that is unheard of for a gold character. It's really incredible. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a tagging attack and he's just an outward character, but this is not the end of the world. So, is Baraka a great character? In my opinion, he is. He literally has no drawback. He is amazing at Fusion 0, absolutely busted at Fusion 10. He can be a decent support because he gives critical hit chance increase to outward characters. He is one of the best fighters in the game, one of the best assassins in the game. Just tag him out, just wait literally 7 or 8 seconds, tag him back in, he's going to have special to execute whoever is there standing, then tag him back out, he's going to regenerate, and very soon he's going to have another special to ready to kill everybody. In a way, his only drawback in the game is a ceremonial pipe, because it can steal his speed, and he really relies on his speed. So the ceremonial pipe, probably his biggest counter. Some of you say Assassin Jade, but you know, the thing is, if I have to face Assassin Jade, all I need to do is to tag Baraka in, then start punching her until I get to X-ray, and you know that I'm going to get to X-ray pretty fast, and then sooner or later, she's going to die. So no surprises here, I'll be giving Baraka 3 out of my 3 subjective points, and with them he's going to score 76.2, and we can label him as a great character. In fact, as of today, he is the highest scoring gold character. I believe he definitely deserves that. On our current standings, he is actually 30th, just above Day of the Dead Erin Black and just below Assassin Jade. So the final verdict for Lizard Baraka is going to be a great character. Let's find out what is your final verdict. Alright guys, it is time to see what you think about Lizard Baraka. 237 you voted for this character. If you want to be part of the voting, please join our Discord server. You can find the link in the description of this video as well. So Long story short, the average score of Baraka was 8.73, with the most common grade being 9, 107 people, and the least common a 2. One person decided that Baraka is 2. Please guys, do not throw in the voting section. If you believe that Baraka is 2, please provide your arguments why, and please do not provide the argument he's 1 because I don't have him. This argument is simply not valid. The same way I can say a Ferrari is a bad car because I cannot afford it. It simply is not fair. Anyways, with that said, according to you, Baraka scored 87.3. According to the Matrix, he scored 76.2. Now the question is, which one is better? Will I agree with the Matrix or will I agree with you? And quite frankly, this time I definitely will agree with you. I believe Baraka is somewhere between 9 and 9.5. He's totally busted. The best gold card by far, and I mean that by far. And quite frankly, he's better than 50, 60, 70% of the diamonds. He's simply incredible. I cannot wait to max him out and test him in towers to see what this guy can do with maxed out equipment. And actually, quite frankly, he doesn't require maxed out equipment since he can go to 999 stacks of his passive. That's bigger than any tower equipment ever designed. So yeah, absolutely busted. On your current standing, by the way, basically which is based on your votes, he is 4th, just above Fargot Lucane and just below Strikeforce Johnny. So once again, in this particular voting, I definitely agree with you. Baraka is an absolutely amazing character. Alright, so Lizard Baraka shouldn't be your opener, period. He just shouldn't be the opener. Reason being, he just cannot take advantage of the first part of his passive, the part that he doesn't react to basic attacks. It is that simple. When it comes to the characters that he counters, I believe he's good against anybody, and characters that counter him, I wouldn't think of any cards that really hard counter Lizard Baraka. Probably he's going to have difficult time against Assassin Jade, Relentless Jason, though he can get to X-Ray pretty fast, at least faster than many other characters. He will also have difficulties facing Classic Reptile because if he's poisoned and he tags out, he won't be able to regenerate. But quite frankly, his biggest counters in the game are a Classic Lucane team. That's going to be unfortunate if you want to stand with Baraka and fight because, you know, you're going to get crippled. That will be pretty bad for you. And his other counter is not a character, it's an item which is called the Ceremonial Pipe. It simply steals your speed and you'll be in a lot of trouble. Alright, so we go to the items. It is really easy here. If you are playing Faction Wars and your Lizard Baraka is High Fusion, all you need to give him is Rat Hammer, damage and critical hit chance, also starting power, important. Shao Kahn Helmet, critical hit chance and health, and something to boost additional power generation and reduce the cost of special 2. In my opinion, the best option is Soul Medallion. So all you have to do is stack him in, kill special 2, then whoever attacks in from the enemy team next, just hit him once or twice, another special 2, he dies, then the third guy comes, just repeat the process, and basically this is how you beat matches. If he is lower fusion and you want to fight in towers, I would definitely recommend to give him a block breaker. For instance, revolvers work pretty good on him. It gives the blockable chance that you require and also boosts the critical hit chance, and Baraka really like critical hit chance, that's a fact. Alright guys, it is time to discuss the teams. As you well know, as of today, the 17th of July 2022, we don't have any other Lizard members, so Baraka is a one-man army. If you want to support him, in my opinion, the best team for him in the GOAT League is consisted of Cyrax Triborg because it boosts the critical damage and Baraka really likes that, and of course Mournful Kitana because he can start with 2 bars of power if you give him the Rat Hammer, and from there on you can unlock the Chain of Destruction, just do special 2 after special 2 after special 2 and kill them all. If you however have Baraka at low fusion and you want to keep him alive for as long as possible, for instance you're playing in tower, you can replace Kitana with Warlock Quan Chi. Reason being, if Baraka gets killed and Warlock Quan Chi resurrects him, Baraka won't lose the stacks of power he has generated, and that's pretty cool. All in all, the characters that are good for Baraka are the characters that can support his damage or make him stronger or make sure that he doesn't die. Alright guys, Lizard Baraka, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comment section. Once again, he scored 76.2, our top scoring gold character, and we label him as a great card. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen. See you next time guys! Take care.
Perfect.